Hey everybody, so we are having some serious technical difficulties on David's end. He's on speakerphone and we're going to try to make that work for right now, and if not, it looks like I'm running the show by myself. Just scary. David, will you say hi so people can tell me if they can hear you?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to Less Than Action. Sorry about this, but my computer has decided at this very moment it needs to update Windows and logs me out of the program. I do apologize, but and then you'll be able to see on Facebook. We have a great show today. Thank you for dealing with us and bearing this with us. We'll get through it. And that's about it. Can people hear me, Amanda?
I'm still waiting on comments to come in.
Okay, so maybe they can. Which is great because if they show up yourself, which is actually fucking awesome. Everyone's gonna think you're nuts. Yeah, so listen, like I said, I do apologize, but fuck you, and we're updating now. And it actually didn't even give me an option, which is kind of odd. I had to reboot the computer, and it just said that this is the time we do it. I hate Microsoft and I hate Facebook. That's about it. I really don't have anything else to say at this point. I'm a little disturbed here that this happened. Listen though, everybody, just so you know, we have a great show going on today. We got a bunch of lovely guests coming on. People I hold very near and dear to my heart, and I'm sure you will if you hear their story. Just bear in mind the sacrifice, the heartache, the trials and tribulations these people have gone through, are going through, and will go through for some time. Nothing compared to what the average person goes through. Whether they're cops or civilian family members, loved ones, they are certainly equal in my book. The sacrifices made by family, it's unbelievable. I know I went through my own little story, my own little issue, with the job from getting off, and a little bit of issues in regard to temporal flooding and all that shit. And it wasn't easy, and where it's like we had was going through, it really put things in perspective to people. So I just want you to deal with me and deal with us. It might be a very emotional show. For both those people on the line, but also people listening in, or even myself on the back end of the mic here. This show is not about us. It's not about politics. It's not about about an inside look to the deep depths of an individual soul.
Dave,
what's up, Amanda?
Hold on one second. Okay, guys, can you tell me really quick if you can hear David? David should be talking, and again, we're having technical difficulties, but okay, I'm getting audio's breaking up a little bit. Tammy says she can hear it fine. David, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, no problem. So, I don't remember where the hell I was. But, again, this is something that we're going through, or they're going through, and they're going to be exposing a very deep, dark part of their soul. So please, keep that in mind. Give them a lot of support is needed. But also remember other families and these stories you're going to hear. Let's not let the support end at the end of this broadcast, at the end of you replaying it or playing it later on. Remember, these families are paying the sacrifice to society. It's going to be for some time to come. So we really need to stand with them and stand by them.
Okay. We're having more people having trouble hearing you than not. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to cut.
It's your show and I'm done. There's nothing I can do until this is done.
But you'll be signing on whenever you got it done, right?
Yeah, when this is done, I'm on. I'm getting Windows ready. Don't turn off computer. As soon as that's clear, I'm up.
Okay. So you want to stay on speakerphone, so if you want to add something, at least I can repeat it?
Right.
Okay. Guys, so if you could not hear what David was saying, we're having technical difficulties. His computer decided to do an update in part of the broadcast, which is no bueno. Joseph says it's your accent, David. So today's show, we're going to have we're going to have an officer on and some officers' family members on. And what David was saying is it's going to be possibly an emotional show. We need to be showing our officers support. Even after the show is over, make sure that you keep these things in mind. These are real people's lives, real people's stories. They are living it. It's not just a movie. And this is why we do what we do, because these guys are out there everywhere. And it's daily for the people that we're going to talk to today. At some point, I'm waiting on a couple of people to call in. We're going to kind of bounce around with our callers. David, do you want me to announce who they are? Okay, so our two female callers that we're going to have are Meredith, the mother of an officer sitting in jail right now awaiting first-degree murder charges, and Officer Betty Shelby's daughter, Amber, will be calling in later, too. I know some of you guys have seen us interact with Officer Shelby's daughter before. This is going to be an actual interaction. We're going to interview. David Shawless, you're going to probably have to restart. Is anybody else having problems? David Shawless, I think it's you, because everybody else says that I'm pretty good to go. Anyway, and then we're also going to have an officer on who was shot not too long ago, and he's going to talk about what he's been through, what his life has been like since his incident happened. We just kind of want you guys to understand 100% what this is like, what happened. And these are our men and women out on the streets every single day, risk this to protect our families. This is, I stress this all the time. You guys are there for my babies, and that's what these men and women are doing. And it looks like we have Meredith. Give me 1 minute, guys. Hi, Meredith.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Good. I'm trying to.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine, but for some reason I'm not getting on.
You're on. No, don't touch anything. You're on. Don't touch.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, how are you? Okay.
I'm doing good.
So I just announced you, but I didn't say much. I just said that you're the mother of an officer awaiting murder. And what we told everybody that we want to talk about, Lacey Lulu. Meredith?
Yes.
Can you? Who is Lacey Lulu?
Yeah, I'm just shutting down. Lacey is my best friend.
Okay, well, she says hello. She says hello.
Hi, Lacey. Yeah, she is amazing.
Okay, what are you shutting down?
I shut Facebook because I was getting feedback from it.
Okay, so are we good now?
We are good.
Okay. So really quick, technical will join us. We don't know when that's going to happen. But so Tell us a little bit about you. Don't say anything about what's going on. Just tell me a little bit about you, who you are. Tell me something about you.
I have raised 4 absolutely beautiful children, and I'm very committed to a strong family unit and encouraging my children to grow and to be the best that they can be. And I'm very proud of all of them. Even with their actions, they have all managed to rise to the top and be amazing, amazing children. So, and now adults. It's just amazing that my town and I get to watch them become the amazing human beings that they've become.
Okay, so about a year ago, your son was involved in a shooting. We're not going to talk about that, but tell me what you have been through personally. Tell me some things about what has happened life since this has happened. Well, we can say that your son is awaiting trial. So he's in jail awaiting trial. Tell us a little bit how this has affected your life.
It's probably been the most difficult thing that I've to have a child in jail is a very difficult situation to deal with. In jail for something that he did not do is more than any mother could bear. There are times that I don't sleep. I go through periods of time where I can't rest. Even when I sit in my living room and I try to watch TV, I can't focus. My husband, in the beginning, did everything because all I could do was cry. He took care of cleaning the house. He took care of making the meals because there was nothing I could do. Cry. People would call me and ask me, how am I doing? They can't imagine. And so somebody asked the idea of what you're going through. And the best way I could describe it is being a mother sitting on a story window, looking out and seeing your child, knowing that something bad is going to happen to them and there's nothing you can do to stop it. Life has been like for 11 and a half months, not being able to stop anything to get across to people, not just a distraught mother trying to fight for their child, message across that this is wrong and that we need support.
Have you support in your community and from those around? Have you received a little bit of support?
I'm receiving more support from outside our community than I am from inside the community, and I think it's because of the politics of everything. I think people are afraid. You can feel it when you're there. The tend. I get support from police officers in the Scranton area. They'll stop me on the street and they'll hug me and they'll hurt Frank, which is amazing. But no one could do that publicly. No one could put that on Facebook. It's that political. But the support from around the nation has been incredible. I get messages, probably 15 to 20 messages from anywhere from California to Florida to New York, telling me how much they support Frank and that I can't believe that this has happened. So I am encouraged by that, but it took a long time to get there. I would say it was 9 months
So,
doing this all on my own, dealing with it almost
so
on
tell
my
me a
own.
little bit more. Tell me a little bit more about what that's like on your own, about what you have faced, what kind of troubles and hardships that you have faced specifically because this situation that it has, and what has went on.
Well, part of it is I don't think people realize of um, daily effort it is for me just to get out of bed and to function day to day. Because your whole life becomes fighting for your loved one. Your whole life becomes engulfed in speaking actually listen to you. And I think that was the hardest part. Another part is I know how much it would just cost just to talk to him every day for 20 minutes. There's a system in place to load a card to be able to talk to your loved one in jail. And that equates to about $50 every that I load my card, depending on how many times I need to talk to him or he needs to talk to me. Sometimes it's once a day, sometimes it's twice a day. It just depends. If I'm time, Frank will call me back just to be my support. I think he's more of a support to me than I am to him. I don't know anybody who is as incredible as he is, because he cares so deeply about his brothers, his sisters, his family, and what we're going through. More is going through. He said he can deal with what he's going through waiting trial. He says it's harder for him to know that what we have to go through out here. Just the fear of what could happen, the fear of the public, if we should be identified in public in the Scranton area and somebody notices who, there have been threats. My other son had to move because he was too close to where the incident happened. I mean, one day in particular, I remember I was with my other son, and we heard gunshots outside his house. That's how close it was. And I was amazed at how fast the police department was there, and they stayed with us all night to make sure that we were safe. The reality of what we have to live with right now.
You talk about your son's resolve and your son's concern about you and your family, as opposed to, he's tough and he says, I'm dealing with what I have to. I'm worried about you guys. And to me, that is what an officer is. That's what a police officer does every day, day in and day out. They worry about their community. They worry about their loved ones. They protect their communities and other people's children before they have time to protect themselves. And that's a pretty big deal. But that speaks a lot to the character of him, and again, all of our officers out there. I think I like the way you put that and said that. I think it says a lot. We do have one of our other guests on the show. Meredith, you've got a lot of support out here. I'm not signing off yet with you, but I want to read some of the support for you on the page because you can't see it. I see Lacey says, Meredith is the strongest woman I know. Thank you for supporting her. Karen says, we love you and your family, Meredith. Mitch MTG says, you can do this, Meredith. You have more support than you know. Love. She called you love. Took me a second to read.
Yes.
And someone else, Joseph says, Frank is so selfless. And Tammy says, we are here for you. So I want to let you know, I wanted you to see how, you know, you do have a lot of support out here. You have a lot of people help there to be there for you and your family. You guys know you can reach out if you need something. You guys know if you need some assistance. I know you don't have much longer to wait for your trial. Hopefully this nightmare is all over soon for you and for your son. Someone else says, thank you guys for what you do. Meredith, you've got this. From Osage County Law Enforcement, Oklahoma. Oklahoma, that's my state.
Wow.
So that's pretty far for you.
Yeah.
So you do have
I drove
people
it once.
for you.
Yeah.
I bet that was a long drive. But that was a really long drive.
Yeah.
So Meredith, do you have anything else you want to add before we go on to our next one? Do you have anything else you want to say?
I just want to say, yeah, I just want to say that until about 8 weeks ago, I never realized how much that line embraces the families of those who are going through difficult situations. And I'm eternally grateful. The Mitch is that one Mitch. She is amazing. She calls me every day. What an amazing and selfless to take the time out of her day to make sure that I'm okay every day. All of you, Amanda, and an incredible support. That's just growing. It's a snowball effect, and it just keeps rolling. And it's all because of the ability for that blue line to stick together. And that's what we need to do for everyone, is to hold our police officers in the highest regard them as much as we can. And thank you so much.
Hold on a second. I know that was a really bad time.
Hold our police officers in the highest regard them as much as we can. And thank you so much.
Okay, David, I've got you on.
Oh, finally.
But I got feedback.
Yeah, I know you do. Just have to finally be on. Thank
Okay.
you, Windows. I appreciate
Do you
this.
wanna talk-
Meredith. What? I want to talk to Meredith for a moment.
That's what I was going to say.
Meredith, I just want you to. Wonderful. Meredith, I just want you to know, honestly, from the bottom of my heart, from all of us here at LESMA, from my family and my friends, you are constantly in our thoughts and prayers. Your husband, your son, your sister, your daughter, your dog, your cat, anything that touches your life. Believe me, we embrace it with prayer and with thought. We're thinking of you. We're rooting for you. We're going to do everything we can for you. We're going to do everything we can for your son when this is over. I don't want to get much into it. It's time for another topic, but I did see and read about the findings the judge had, and I'll be honest with you, I'm thrilled with them. I think it's fantastic. I wasn't shocked that it went that way, but again, that's because the DA's a moron. But everything's going to work out, hon. And you got a lot of love and help and support here, and we'll carry him through this when it's over. We love you. You guys are family to us and always will be.
Thank you so much, David, for
Absolutely.
everything, and you, Amanda, as well.
Oh, anytime.
One more comment for you, Meredith, and it says, from Sheba, and she's from Canada. So many people are here for you. Don't ever feel you are alone. You remain in our prayers. And there's one more. Meredith sending you much love to you and Frank. God will see you through.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You have a lot of.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on and talking to us and letting
Okay, I'm gonna
everybody see. And touch.
absolutely.
Video.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So, do we have our next guest on?
Yes,
I
I
am
just
here.
heard him informing.
Inform. I
How are
thought that
you?
was him. I'm not on I'm not on video. I heard. That's great.
That was me.
Okay. So, all right. So for everybody, this is our guest number 2, obviously. Eh, at this point, I just want to introduce. I'm just going to refer to him as officer. I'm going to introduce him as officer. Great guy. Had the opportunity to speak to him at length over the phone. He is one of our officers from our officer shot list, and I am thankful more than you can imagine that I have the opportunity to actually speak to him today. Tell us a little bit how the events unfolded in regards to your incident.
It was the whole incident surrounded a stolen vehicle and my locating it. And while I was attempting the arrest, a fight ensued with one of the subjects. And during that time, he pulled out a firearm from his waistband. Was able to get off one round about into my hip, more or less, and that was pretty much it. You know, and just real quick, I see all the time on the media, and I know you guys, you know, it's just partly because of the media and the reporting, but you know, nothing's routine out there for us, especially these days, especially a felony, you know, car stop, or this, you know, this technically wasn't a stop, but you know, nothing's routine out there for us anymore. And you know, we're at a disadvantage every time we hit the street. And, you know, it doesn't matter really the amount of training we have. We can't go up to every situation with our gun in our hand, or, you know, deploy with an AR-15 on a civil disturbance call. You know, those calls may turn ugly. And, you know, one of my messages that I want to get out there is that nothing's routine, and the amount of disadvantage that we face is immense. So.
Yeah, absolutely is. You know, and you're right. At any moment, anything can, you know, you can go from a beautiful Sunday afternoon sitting in your cruiser, having a brunch, and in a moment's notice, the gates of hell open up, and you're feeling all its fury, and you're looking around you, and there's no one there, or maybe just your one partner, and that backup that's, you know, could be anywhere from 30 seconds behind you to 30 minutes behind you, will take, in fact, an eternity to get there, no matter how far they are. And God bless you. God bless you, and thank God you're here, and thank God you're here for your family. I have a lot of respect for you, sir. I can say nothing less than that. I have an amazing amount of respect for you and what you went through and what your family's going through. I have a lot of respect for your family as well. I can't even imagine having to go through your circumstance. I know it was tough for me to go through getting sidelined on an injury just resulting from a car accident. I can't even begin to imagine what you went through in your incident. Let me ask you. Go ahead.
I was just going to say something I've learned throughout this process and throughout the recovery is not to minimize anybody else's situation, because I've gotten into a habit of minimizing my own and looking at other officers around the country that have been shot and wounded. You know, one comes to mind, Deputy Kimber Gist out of, I think it's in South Carolina, you know, shot 8 times.
I believe so.
Already back to full duty. You know, and I look at mine and I kind of get down on myself thinking, you know, I only got shot once and here I am, facing a medical retirement. And my wife always gets on me and tells me, don't minimize it. Don't make it any less than anybody else's. And what made me think about that is when you were talking about your car accident. It's, it was serious enough that you're not on the job anymore. So though our situations might be different, the respect goes both ways. I mean, we both paid in blood, so you have my respect as well.
Oh, I appreciate that, and absolutely. I mean, you're 100% right. I mean, listen, you don't have to look any further. You don't have to even look at law enforcement. You don't have to look any further than rapper 50 Cent, who brags about getting shot 9 or 10 times from an AK-47, and he's still here today. Right. The body's a weird thing. I took a hard hit. I've seen drunks wreck their cars a lot worse than mine was, going at much higher speed than I was, and they walk out of it like it's nothing. Exactly. My injuries, they're permanent. They're debilitating. It was in the cards. It's what God had plans for me. I don't know, but it is what brought me here today. And it is what brings you to what you've been doing and what you're starting to do and what we want to, obviously, as I had said to you in phone conversations, help you with, push you with, and in every way, shape, and form make part of this. Can you, as best as you can, I know you may not want to get too much into it right now, but would you mind explaining to everyone listening, so that they're not just hearing my voice and my story when I've talked about it in the past? Explain what it is that you found yourself going through in your recovery for yourself, not so much physically. I think a lot of people understand injury is injury. It sucks and it's hard to recover. The emotional aspects and the mental aspects of recovering from an early sidelined injury and trying to, not only regain what you've lost with your self-identity of being sidelined and told, hey, you may be done, and trying to reinvent that identity going forward in the future for you and your family.
That's a good question, and one that's taken me, and for everybody out there that's listening, this occurred almost a year ago. Next month will be a year. So there's been a lot of thinking, even from the very beginning, what am I going to do with my life and with myself after this is over, if in fact going back to uniform or even law enforcement in general isn't going to happen. What do I do to support my family? And you'll have to excuse me if at some point I start to get kind of emotional. It's just, there's a lot of this that you can't really put into words. But thankfully I've done really, all you do is think, you think about the incident, you think about your physical injuries, like you mentioned, and mine aren't huge, but it's just enough to get me to this point where I'm facing a medical retirement. But thinking about the incident every day, every second of the day, really, it never stops. Even when, you figure out some kind of a hobby to do, for a day or for a couple hours, it never stops. Mentally trying to, help yourself recover. I don't know that you ever truly get over something like this. It is something that's new to me, and I'm figuring this stuff out as we go along day by day, but, right. And I dealt with PTSD even before this, from the military and just from, the years of law enforcement service that, that I've had, we're going on 20 years right now total. And, this stacks on top of that other PTSD. It makes this really terrible sandwich, kind of, if you will. So then now I'm dealing with, and everything's aggravated now, and everything's magnified, and it's the PTSD related anxiety and depression, and there's some paranoia that you deal with, which is something new to me that I'm really trying to learn how to figure out, how do I, especially that, when it's something new, how do I conquer that, and the
You have a
psychology,
new text message.
the psychology and therapy appointments are going to help to a degree, because you get to go there and complain about some things, if you will, and get some things off your chest. And then my wife and I have a really good communication system here. You have to. Things can't go unsaid in a situation like this. But putting all that together and taking what I learned at the psychologist's office or when I go see the therapist, bringing that home, maybe reading a book about it, a self-help book, which may sound kind of corny, but they exist for a reason, and they actually do help. I mean, you're able to learn quite a few things about yourself reading those books that are written from people that have been through similar situations that you've been through. It's a struggle. It's a battle every day. And I think what a lot of people don't realize is you leave the hospital, and while you're in the hospital, everybody's coming to see you. You have your police chief, your fellow officers, and your chain of command. You have friends and family that are coming to visit you, and it doesn't stop when you get home. It doesn't get better when you get home. And I think that's kind of this falsehood that everyone kind of just goes away, and it only really seems to get worse as the days go by and a month or two goes by. But then you start adding on the things like people aren't coming to visit you or call you, your friends that you've known for 10 or 15 years. And I understand that lives go on, and people, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. But we take that personal, and at first I thought it was just me, but it's not. I've spoken to several officers around the country that have been injured, whether it be a car accident or being shot in the line of duty, whatever the case may be, and they're feeling the same things.
Absolutely.
And then, like I said, that adds on top of the anxiety and the depression and the paranoia. And why isn't this person calling me? Do they not like me anymore? Whatever the case is, you just start making up things that it's ridiculous. It's not true. It's not true, but then you think it's true. And I mean, this is something that I know is going to take years and years and years to get over fully, and then you add the on top of it, and I don't want to go on too much of a rant, but you have kids that you have to take care of at the same time, and how does it affect them? Because all they see is negative, and they're young, so all they see is you in the hospital or you at home for several months and you can't move and you're in a wheelchair, and then there's other physical things that come up. Like during my recovery, I ended up getting 6 or 8 blood clots in one of my legs, so you end up back in the hospital, and that's another $90,000 medical bill. And, and then you're at home and you're alone because this wasn't supposed to happen and you were kind of on your way to recovery. So all that physical stuff also mounts on top of the emotional and mental stress that you're feeling. And it's just, I mean, it's, I'm not having a hard time putting it into words right now, but when you're thinking about it in your head and you're me, it's just this big jumbled up mess. And then again, you add on top of, what am I going to do for a living when I'm done? Am I going to be physically able enough to do this or do that? Or, I'm preparing myself to not go back to work. And, I need to go now probably to some sort of, vocational schooling or take some classes because probably like you, David, this is all I've known for my entire adult life. And I've been doing it since I was 19 years old. I've never trained or prepared for anything else. I put my heart and soul in this since I was a teenager. And never worried about it. I was invincible back then. You know, I never thought, you know, and then I go to work and I never think it's going to happen to me, you know, and then here we are now.
No.
I'm 11 months in, and now I've got to figure all this other stuff out.
Yeah. No, listen. I understand where you're coming from completely. I've been there, you know, at least with the recovery aspect and the no more phone calls coming in. And you know, I worked in a small squad and I worked with some great guys. You know, and there were always personality conflicts, whatnot. And, you know, again, people stopped calling you and you would wonder, hey, you know, was there a problem? Did they not, you know, whatever? Did they not like me? Was there a falling out? Did I do something? Whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's normal. But I think part of it is, too, is, you know, we're sidelined and getting ready for a new life, whether we want it or not. And, you know, at least in my case, these guys still had 45 cases sitting in the queue. And an inspector or a chief breathing down their neck that wants to know, why didn't you solve the homicide that happened 30 minutes ago?
Right.
You know, why don't you know who's doing the burglaries when they're not leaving any DNA or fingerprints? I mean, you should just know this.
Right.
And you know, there's enough stresses on the job. You know, when you think back to when you were on. Now these guys are stressed just as you were, but now added on the fact that they're down a guy, they're down a friend. And it is a grieving process for everybody. I don't think anyone is really happy when they lose a coworker under any terms. No one wants to see someone leave against their own terms. You know, I had a transfer I was waiting on. You know, possibilities of promotions down the road. I had, you know, another good 20 years I could have done, 15, 20 years I could have done before I was ready to throw in the towel. But
Right.
again, my ticket got punched earlier than it was supposed to. I mean, it is what it is. And I, luckily enough, got angry and formed Lesma. Just so I could stay in the fight. And, you know, I told you this before, and I'll say it to you now to everyone on the air. I'm more than willing to welcome you into the Lesma family, and I'd love for you to be a permanent part of the Lesma family, and we will get you on the talking circuit or whatever it is you're looking to do, and have you be part of that and be part of your new extended family, you know, and it does help. So by all means, feel free when you're able to clear everything. Feel free. You know, we have a slot on this program. We want to fill it up like a regular radio station. So have it that for your own show and you know, let's get you on the talk circuit and let's get you around and let's do some great things together and you know, and help out our brothers and sisters, because you know what, it didn't stop with me and it didn't stop with you, and it's not going to stop with the next one either, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And
sure.
you know, so I do want to ask you a few more things. The next question I have is more, you know, I'll start by explaining what I noticed, and then let it lead the question from there, and you jump in and say what you have to say or tell me you think I'm nuts. I'm okay with that.
Sure.
I noticed when I mean, I am nuts, but I noticed when I got off the job, you know, and I did briefly speak to you about this on the phone, but I'll be honest with you. This is my first time speaking publicly about this. But I noticed when I got off the job, there was a lot of hatred, and a lot of anger, a lot of venom, whatever you want to call it. And it was really tough on my family. And it was hard for them to understand because, I mean, there were a lot of dynamics, right? So dad always went to work. Someone else watched the kids. You know, wife worked full time. And now I'm home. And totally the apple cart's upside down at this point. Now I'm home and I'm doing things my way. You know, everything that used to be done the way it was done, I came home and it was very regimental. Lunch was made the night before. It was packed in the fridge. It was ready to go with the kids to school in the morning. The book bag had to be here and there. And the clothes were laid out, and this is where they were. And it was pants, shirts, underwear, and socks. Boom, boom, boom. Had to be that order. And it was just a little bit of, I guess, the regiment that you have with work coming into your new life. It upset the cart. No one was really happy at first. The kids quickly transformed. They were the most resilient, obviously, as kids normally are. My marriage took a beating. Long story short, I quickly noticed in time as I began to embrace life. You know, that there was a rainbow outside of the job. I noticed that a lot of things got better. My life got better. The kids' life got better. Everyone got happier. I embraced more things in my life. I started to open up to more things. And ultimately, all my relationships on a social level, because there were none, they were all destroyed. I mean, with friends and it was all gone. Every single one of those relationships had improved dramatically, 100-fold. Long story short, it was a good thing. It took about a year or two for that, a year and a half for that to happen. Now, I'm hoping it's not just me because I'm an asshole. I mean, I know I always say I'm the chief executive asshole, and I am. I can be a real asshole because I have no problem turning the filter off and talking. But no one really wants to speak like I just spoke, and no one really wants to talk about it. So I guess what I'm asking you is what your observations, and maybe you haven't observed it and I'm opening you up to it, or maybe you're just about to tell me I'm an asshole and it was just me. But what was your observation on that? How did the family react to the fact that you're home, the fact that you're recuperating, the fact that your struggles to not being on the job and all that stuff? How did that go?
That's a good question. And before I start on that, you brought up a good point earlier, and it kind of leads into this, where you said more or less, well, I'll put it into my words. I always wanted to leave the law enforcement career on my own terms. I was going to 8+ years and retire and be done with it. And now here I am faced with, on top of what you just spoke about, leaving the career on somebody else's terms.
Right.
On somebody else, somebody else that did it for me. So here I am now at home, leaving, and I can go back a little bit to when I first got home from the hospital, and in pain, I'm talking, they go a scale of 1 to 10, and I'll go 10+ every single second of the day, thinking to myself, I can't do anything. I am completely non-productive. I've got people taking care of me. I couldn't shower on my own. I couldn't go to the bathroom on my own. I couldn't do anything on my own. So at that point in my recovery, I'm thinking I'm never going to be able to do anything ever again. Now, fast forward to several months later, and sure, I'm still in pain. I'm getting medical procedures. It helps. I'm more mobile. I can do some things on my own without having to have somebody here. So we have 2 children, 9 and 5 years old.
You have a new text message.
I call myself the father mommy, and I'm here, taking the kids to school, picking them up, taking them to Cub Scouts, doing, parent-teacher conferences, anything and everything you could think of. I'm doing everything that my wife probably normally would have done in the past. But before, too, we both worked. My wife has a very professional job. She would come home at 6 o'clock at night. I would be ready for work and walking out the door to start my shift at 7 p.m. as she was walking in. And we had created this really not perfect, but near perfect balance with our professional and home lives. and it just worked. And now, like you had said, it's turned upside down. I lost you guys on video. Are you still there? You still there, David? Well, anyways, apparently they keep getting booted. So if anyone's still listening, I'm still talking. Turn it off. Just.
Hey.
Are you there now? Okay, I see you.
Yeah, I'm there. I don't. Amanda left. I don't know why. I asked her to jump on because I had to step away, and I don't know what happened there. So I do apologize.
No, that's fine. She said she keeps getting booted. So apparently they could still hear me. But okay.
No, that's beautiful. No, go ahead. They can hear you, and I'm listening. I was listening, but I couldn't be in front of the camera, so I do apologize.
Oh. Okay. So I kind of lost my train of thought, but so here we are, you know, and I'm home. I'm home every day taking care of, you know, essentially the duties of a stay-at-home mom, like you were. You know, I'm doing the laundry, I'm sweeping the floors and vacuuming and doing the dishes every day. And I mean, I'm doing exactly what I can do, but I still have a lot of days where I wake up like, I mean, today, honestly, I woke up and didn't think I'd be able to do this interview tonight because I had such a headache. I felt so nauseous. I thought I was going to throw up all day. Luckily, I
you know, it's funny you say that though. It's funny you say that because my wife says I make her sick too. You know, no, listen, I get you. Listen, I know where you're coming from, brother, because I should call you when I feel that way. I feel like that most mornings I wake up, I don't want to get out of bed. I can't get out of bed. I just, like, I'm physically sore between my back, my neck, my shoulder and collarbone that's all fucked up. I can't get myself out of bed most nights, most mornings. And I need to take, you know, Tylenol PM or sleeping pills to go to sleep every night. So you know.
And I'm still on opiates. I take opiates several times a day for the pain. I haven't, you know, and obviously with that now I've been taking 11 months, so I'm addicted to them. I mean, not to say I don't need them. I definitely need them at this point, but that's a problem.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah, that's a problem too. You know, and I wake up and the first, you know, and granted the fact that I'm not sleeping very well at night, maybe 1 or 2.5 hours a night, which throws me off. It throws anyone off who's not sleeping for, you know, nights in a row. And so I'll wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is go to my medicine box in the side of the table and you know, I'm taking 2 or 3 opiates and gabapentin for my nerve pain, and you know, and I have to force myself out of bed, and it takes me at least, depending on what I have that morning, and I try to schedule all my appointments because I still have several doctor's appointments usually during the week. I try to schedule them later, you know, as late in the morning as I can, because it takes me, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours each morning to get myself, really to force myself to do anything. You know, and part of that is, I know part of that's, you know, it's just depression. It's, you know, when you flip the table like that, and now all of a sudden we're staying home and we're responsible for doing everything that's required of, I mean, not just, you know, I don't want to be misogynistic here. I mean, there's plenty of stay-at-home dads, you know, but anybody that's in the position that I'm in, and here I am, and though I'm not used to it. And it's a really hard adjustment. Probably one of the most difficult about the recovery is staying at home now and parenting. You know, before I'd work 7 p.m. to 3 a.m. I barely saw the kids or my wife during the week. So, I mean, not only that, that also affects my wife. It affects even extended family, her parents, when they're in town, because, you know, they'll have to help me out doing those things if they're staying with me. And it's, you know, but it's been a team effort. I mean, my wife will still work 8 or 10 hours a day managing, the people that work for her, and driving home in rush hour traffic, and then coming home to cook dinner and finish up the laundry or do the cleaning that I couldn't do that day, or I could only do halfway. And part of that is because I'm hurting, and part of that is just mental. So,
Yeah. Well,
that's something that people don't understand, and they would never even think about had they not ever been through it or heard somebody talk about it.
Absolutely. You're 100% right. And you know what? The sad part to all this is, you bitch about it, or at least I felt, if you bitch about it, you get you're just complaining, or you're lucky you don't have to work anymore. Or again, like with doing the dishes, like you said, or whatever, it's, oh, you're just being an asshole, And it's not, you're not being misogynistic. You're not being a sexist. You're not being an asshole. You're just being somebody you weren't ready to be. I mean, plain and simple. You weren't ready to pack it in. I can fully listen. I'm home long enough now. I embrace it. I love it. I love cooking, but I always did. So that's a pass. That's just, I always loved to cook. I just never could because of the work hours. But, I love getting my kids off to school. I love getting my kids back home from school, meeting my son at the bus stop, making a nice dinner, helping with the homework. But it took a while to embrace that because I had to go through what you're going through now. I had to go through that time of dealing with the fact that I'm not ready to be here yet. And don't get me wrong. If I had, somehow been married to a wealthy woman that I didn't have to work and stay home from day one, just being Mr. Mom, I would have been fine with that. But that wasn't it. I was a cop. Then I was a detective. I loved my job. I was waiting to get promoted, a long wait. Not promoted, transferred. I was hoping to eventually, get bumped up to the next grade. When my time came, I knew I had a couple of years to go till that came, but I waited anxiously and whatnot. The reality is, though, like you said, whether it be a car accident, a slip and fall, getting jumped, getting shot, getting stabbed, you're not ready for it. And it takes a long time to embrace it. And I think part of the problem is our culture. I mean, you're a cop, like a soldier, you're a warrior, a gladiator, however you want to look at it. You have that mindset. It's not a civilian mindset, and it never goes away. My wife even asked me last night. She said something to me along the line, it turned into a little bit of an argument, but it became something along the lines of, what is it about me that you love about me? And I said, one of the things I love most about you is the fact that you're always positive. You always have a good outlook. You're always willing to help people. You're always willing to extend your hand, extend a dollar, extend whatever. I said, I can't do that. And she says, well, that can't be true because you're always making fun of me for that. I said, just because I make fun of you for that doesn't mean I don't embrace it at the same time. Just know that I can never be that person. That my life is what it is. I dealt with the life of a warrior, a gladiator, or whatever you want to call it, as a cop. You don't trust people. You're always expecting the worst. You're always prepared for the worst, the negative. Guess what? Doesn't mean I don't want the world to be unicorns and rainbow sprinkles. I just, in my mind, will always be waiting for it to turn to shit to do what I do best. Right. And she couldn't understand that. And that's, I noticed too, that's a big problem. But that's why I started what I started, because for people like you, we're here, because I get it. My phone, and my phone's on 24/7. I know, bad time to say it, because you called me earlier today and I didn't pick up, but the phone was acting up. It's not my problem. But the phone's always on. So I'm always here if you need me, or any of the other officers listening need me.
Right.
But I do get where you guys are coming from. I know it's all the same. Like you said, and you said it perfectly. Whether it's a car accident or a shooting, it's all the same. But there are certain things. Go ahead.
And just real quick, because I forgot to mention you mentioned your kids and how resilient they are, and they always say in law enforcement, what is it, adaptable. And kids are really good at that, and they've been great. They help me out. They'll do things if I need them to do them. They sort of understand the situation as described to them and explained to them. My wife, it's been an adjustment for her just as much as it has been for me. And like I said, she'll come home and pick up some slack. And there's plenty of nights where she comes home and I see the look on her face, and I know that's a night that we're just going to get in bed at 6:30 or 7 o'clock and tell the kids it's their bedtime, because they can't tell time on a clock yet really well. And we just tell them it's 9 o'clock already. And
there you go.
It's compromise. It has to happen in any relationship, no matter what. Mm-hmm. A relationship like this, and mind you, I don't know if I told you this, but my wife and I got married after the shooting.
I didn't know. I had no idea.
My shooting was in March. We were already engaged. We pushed our wedding up an entire year, got married July 1st. So we did the wedding and the planning, from the couch that I was confined to for several months. And let me tell you something. One of the hardest things I've done is actually get married while I'm in this physical and mental state. Definitely the most happiest day of my life, for sure. But we've learned on the fly how to compromise and how to communicate in reference to everything that's happened to us. And if I don't give, the props to my wife, then I'm in the wrong, you know what I mean? But she's adjusted.
Of course.
And she's definitely a police wife, and she's learned in one of the worst circumstances that you could possibly learn in.
Absolutely. Well, God bless her, really and truly. And I look forward to actually meeting the two of you someday. And I look forward to being able to shake both of your hands. God bless her, truly amazing woman. I know through following your Facebook and speaking to you on the phone and even through hearing this. Listen, I got nothing but love for both of you. God bless both of you. We do have our other caller on the line, and I do want to get to her. And I do hope that you'll continue to watch it in the feed on Facebook. But before we disconnect, I just want to reiterate. Consider what I said. I'd love to be able to get you on the air here on your own program. Your own format, your own style. You don't, it's nothing you're paying for. It's nothing at all. I know there's some glitches with it, but we're ironing that out. It takes time. It's our third show, Amanda, I think. We are ironing it out. I'd love to have you on. I'd love for you to use this as an avenue to pursue other things. And I look forward to really doing a lot of stuff with you in the future, as we've discussed. So please stay in touch with me, and remember that.
I will, and I appreciate both you and Amanda. Amanda, give me a
thank you.
Amanda, wave. I can see you, but I'm not.
Something, Amanda?
I'm not listening.
Amanda, wave. Wave, Amanda, wave.
She's just.
There you go.
Not. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, everything you've done for me, and just the, everyone thinks we always want money when we're in a situation like this, but there you go, Amanda. But all we really want is people's support, their moral support. So I appreciate you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
I personally appreciate you.
Thank you very much, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it, guys.
Talk to you soon.
I almost thought she forgot how to talk.
I'm having issues. So, do I get to introduce this next one?
Yes. Go ahead, by all means.
This is. Oh, she just left.
All right,
Okay,
we'll introduce her.
hopefully
She's
she-
probably going to call right back in.
Hopefully she'll be right back. So it is my wonderful, beautiful friend, Amber. She is the daughter of Officer Betty Shelby in Tulsa. You might recognize her from the press conference that we did back in November. Beautiful person, beautiful, just like her mother. I mean, I love this girl, so I can't wait to get her to talk. And no,
Hopefully
Amber.
she calls back. No,
Yeah,
Amber.
so my
Well, again, and I do have to apologize to everybody, though. This is the difficulty with having someone from Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, and another state, which we're deliberately leaving out of it, calling in makes for a problem. She's here, so introduce her again.
Okay, my wonderful, beautiful friend Amber, who is the daughter of Officer Betty Shelby in Tulsa. Amber, you're driving home.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry, you guys.
How are you?
No problem. Thank you for coming on.
Sure, sorry, I had to work, but, got my bill somehow.
Yeah,
I am-
I get that.
She had to really kind of jump through hoops to get on here tonight, so I'm really thrilled to have her. So, David, you want to jump in on this with her? Just start talking to her?
Yes,
Can you hear us?
very dark. I could barely see you. Yeah, can you hear us, Amber?
Yeah, I know they don't have lights on the highway.
No, it's okay. I
It's like a
understand.
network
I
connection
understand.
and cutting me out.
No, it's okay. It's not our fault.
But, yeah, I can hear you guys just fine.
Oh, perfect. Okay, well, let me, first of all, I would just like to say welcome aboard, and nice to finally meet you. I heard great things about you from Amanda. I just want to say, anything they said about me is more than likely a lie. Listen, I have a lot of respect for what it is that you're going through, but at the same time, I really can't even wrap my brain around it. My dad wasn't a cop, my mom wasn't a cop, I was the cop, my brother's a cop. I don't even really want to. If I'm in any way, if it's getting too emotional for you, please just feel free to tell me shut up. But what's it like for you? What is it? I mean, listen. Let me first say I've seen the video of your mother 100 times, and by 100 times I mean 1,000. I've watched it in slow motion. I've watched it in reverse by backing it up. I've watched it in freeze frame. I've watched it accelerated. I've watched it in slow-mo, you name it. I know what went on there by watching it. I broke it down. Your mom is, as far as I'm concerned, spot on. But what is it like for you to have to, to move on dealing with, well, again, let me use a term Trump would use, the fake media, dealing with the spun stories that don't exist, the theories that are just totally pulled out of their ass, and knowing that this is your mother and that's not who this is, speaking to your mom and knowing how it went down and knowing what they're pitching isn't what went on. What does it do for the family structure?
Oh my goodness, this tears the family down because, not only are we hearing her side, but we're listening to the other side. She's listening to the other side, and honestly, it's terrible. And with the way everything is going, we have to keep our mouth shut about everything. It doesn't matter if we know what's true, what's false. We can't say anything just in case somebody comes after us and all this other great stuff. But it's really difficult, and my mom, she breaks down and she'll cry because people are saying all these horrible things about her, and it really hurts me because my mom is the love of my life, most kids are. It's their mom. They love them, and so I don't know. It's been really hard for sure, and we don't really know how to handle it because we've never been through anything like this. And you throw in a little 4-year-old because I got a 4-year-old son, and we have to really make sure he can't be around me, he can't watch the news around him, and now he's like, well, why doesn't Granny ever go to work? And we just come up with all these different lies on oh, it's because of that. But I mean, my child is catching on that there's something up. And, we'll be walking through
Right.
Walmart or Target, and, sometimes you'll hear people just talking about it, and it really hurts. And just imagine somebody sitting there and talking about all these bad things, and if it's true or false, just about your mother or your parent, it really does hurt. And it flips your life
Right.
upside down. And so,
No.
I don't know. Sorry, let me pull in so you guys can maybe see me a little.
Well, I can't even imagine. I got to be honest. Listen. I have nothing but a lot of respect for you going through what you're going through, and for coming on today to talk about it. I got nothing but love for your mother. I know she was out there doing her job. I know she was out there doing what she felt was right. I know she was doing what needed to be done, and I know she acted properly.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, the mindset today is what it is. That's why we have this situation we have with Frank and with your mom, and plenty of other officers as well. But it is what it is. We can't control that. We can't stop your mom being persecuted for this. We can't stop Frank being persecuted. We can't stop the Baltimore Six. It was a political tone that came out that created this. But the good Lord is doing His best in making sure that these officers are all getting off. That common sense is prevailing in court, as it will with your mom, as it will with Frank, as it did with Baltimore, as it will in South Carolina and in North Carolina, and all these other incidents you hear about, and that are to come still. We have a new leadership, obviously in Washington, and tones are going to change, things are going to change, and they will get better, and our officers will stop getting persecuted with these actions. And again, common sense will prevail. But unfortunately, for the few that got caught up, we have to wait for it to get into the legal system for common sense to, rise up and clear them. And your mom will definitely, I have no doubt, be cleared. But going forward from there, how do you feel? Do you feel that a vindication in court will make things better? Do you feel that the ramifications of it will take more than that?
Honestly, how I feel is, if my mom is cleared, and I feel like she's going to be cleared no matter what.
Absolutely.
But there's still going to be some people here in Tulsa that aren't going to think that justice has been served. And
of course.
And how I think of it is, you could have just went ahead, not charged her, not have thrown her name through the mud like this, and, everything would have been just fine. Just the fact that they're making this so long and drawn out, and I really don't think that it's helping Tulsa at all. I mean, Tulsa's going to riot if they want to riot. If they don't want to riot, then they're not going to. But, just to do this to somebody's life, to their name, it's terrible.
Right.
Some people will never have respect for her because, they're not going to have all of the facts. you're only going to know all of the negative things because that's all people ever remember is the negative things. And it's just going to be bad. That's how I feel.
Well,
She's never going to have her life back.
to comment a little bit on what you said, you know, you're definitely right. People do remember the negative more so than the positive. I mean, you know, you can build 100 bridges, you know, and that's cool, and people will love it. But you screw up once, and you're a failure. And that's how people look at it, because they embrace the negative, because there's something to be said for it. It draws attention. And that's exactly why you're in the I mean, at least why I feel you're in the situation, your family's in the situation, your mom's in the situation, is the media saw it as a way to be like, oh, look at this. Someone fucked up, or potentially fucked up, and we can make $1 off of it. And we're going to make $1 off of it, because you just want to cut me off. I got you. It's okay. Go ahead. No, it's okay. It's okay.
I do want to point out something that, I mean, you may not even know, David, but right after the shooting happened, you know, they were screaming racism, racism, racism.
Yeah,
and
my
immediately,
boy Al Sharpton was doing it.
Yeah. Immediately following that, though, like just days, someone had pulled up where Tulsa Police Department, just like a month before the shooting, had posted this family. Amber, do you know what I'm talking about? Do you know, before I say it, do you know what I'm talking about?
The family that she helped?
Mm-hmm.
Or what?
Yeah, the family that she helped. There was Tulsa Police had posted on their Facebook. You can tell the story. I want you to.
It was actually a black family. They had 2 little boys, and somebody had broken into their house, stole all of their video games and all their systems. And my mom got that same day. And she was working up in North Tulsa, and they were a really good, wholesome family. And so we ended up bringing flowers to work and gave them to her for, like, saying thank you. Thank you for finding all of our stuff and helping us out.
Well,
yeah, and
clearly
the police department is the one who shared that post.
And clearly that goes to show your mom's a monster. You know, it's amazing what the media will do.
Oh, yeah.
Hence why we go against the media. We hate the media. And not just the media. I mean, politicians, whoever. Which is another part of the problem here, too, is politicians. You know, in a lot of these cases, it has, you know, we've seen it with the McDonald's case out of Chicago. That was all politically motivated between the DA and Rahm Emanuel, that they decided to air that video and throw that officer under the bus. You know, they held off doing that for over a year. It wasn't until Rahm said, hey, I'm not going to endorse you as the DA. The DA said, fuck you. I'm releasing the video you suppressed. Boom. Now all of a sudden everyone hates Rahm Emanuel. Mind you, plenty of reason to hate him when he was with the Obama administration. But, you know, and, you know, you see the same thing now with Frank in Pennsylvania. The DA's like, oh, I got to actually earn my spot as a DA in a re-election. I better fuck a cop over and win over the majority of the junkie-loving people of Scranton, PA. And there you go, right? It is what it is. And you know, I do feel, obviously, your mom's case, obviously there's politics involved, even to the fact that the city officials caving in on the fact of threats from, you know, NAACP or BLM or any of that you see all over the country. Rather than people rising up and being honest with it and saying, hey, not for nothing, I understand where you're coming from, but you're the fucking BLM. You're the NAACP. Fuck you. You don't run my city. You weren't elected to be the mayor. You weren't elected to be the DA. I'll decide what happens in my city. And then you can do your part to make sure I don't get reelected if you hate me for doing what I need to do, instead of throwing someone under the bus and saying, oh, I'm going to go with your vote by kissing your ass and crucifying an innocent person. And it is sickening. It is beyond sickening. Yeah, you can whatever you want. Go ahead. Can you what?
I'm going to share a comment. a comment from Meredith to
Sure.
Amber, because this is for you, and this is our mother in Pennsylvania whose son is also awaiting trial. She says, I can relate to everything you are saying. I'm praying for you and your family. Just wanted you to hear that directly.
Thank you, Meredith. That's sweet. Yeah, she's Meredith's a sweetheart. And listen, I just want to, I do want to take a sidestep for a moment, just to throw it out there. I do apologize when you had your press conference that I wasn't there. But again, it everything was kind of rush, hurry. But I do look forward to doing more things with you, hopefully in the future, and having you as part of our team. And I definitely look forward to partying my ass off with you and your mother and the rest of your family when this comes down. Because I have no doubt, as I have no doubt with Frank, there is no way on earth I could imagine. Listen, I can't imagine how anyone on a jury, no matter how tainted they may be, is going to find this fool somehow not at fault for the cause of his own death. I don't know how to word my next question because I don't. If it's nothing you can answer, just feel free to tell me. But how does it feel? We'll go hypothetical. How does it feel? How does it feel as far as support from her old job, meaning her coworkers, not supervisors, not politicians, coworkers, and what's your feeling on how it feels?
All right, so yeah, the coworkers, they're in full support of her. Like, some of them, they'll still come out to the house to help us out. With anything that my parents need, they will help out. We're a really close family, really. We don't even think of them as, my parents' coworkers. They're family. And so, yeah, they will do anything to help us out. And they're definitely, out there supporting us and everything. And so, yeah, most of the officers, and actually while I was at work, I ran into a fire department, a fireman, and he was like, the whole fire department stands behind your mom. And it's really nice to know that, there's still people out there that will, that support her and will do anything to help her. Now, there's some people in TPD, kind of higher up that they're not the best anymore, but, just officers in general, yeah, they're behind her 100%.
Well, if you don't mind me throwing this out there, I don't know too many people from Tulsa PD. Those that I do know, it's never been a face-to-face meeting. I have people I've networked with through emails or through LinkedIn or through whatever, or through the group in Facebook. But I did notice one thing, this is all agencies with law enforcement, and I noticed it myself even when I was on the job, still on the job. The higher up the rank you go, the air gets a lot thinner, and it's harder to maintain brain cells. And they seem to forget where they came from. They seem to forget what it's like. They seem to forget what you have to do. And their ambitions in life are no longer that of your mom's. Your mom's ambition in life that night, I guarantee you, above all else, was that she was going to come home to you. And then when she secured that goal, the next goal was the person standing to her right or left. Those people were going to go home. That's all that mattered. Now, when you get to be a big supervisor, your ambition is, I'm going to get the next promotion, or I'm going to get my city council election. That's where your priority is. And unfortunately, when politics and police departments mix, it's not good. It never is good because everybody who's a boss wants to know how much they can suck and how long they need to suck it so they can get promoted. They lose that brotherhood. It's gone. So I hope to God she maintains that. Please let her listen to this if she ever forgets. Doesn't matter what the commissioners think. Doesn't matter what the chiefs think. Doesn't matter what the captains think. And it certainly, under no circumstance, ever matters what the haters think. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is she did the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
You got to hug her. And that the majority of America has her actual back. It doesn't matter where you're coming from, cop supporter or not. The majority of America has your mother's back. She needs to know that. I don't know if she bothers to research it or not. She needs to know that. There were stories that were published. She does?
Media. Yeah, she doesn't watch the news. She doesn't Google anything because she's staying away from it all because it hurts her too bad. But when I do find something really nice that's, showing somebody's, supporting her and that they have her back, I'll show her and she'll watch it. But yeah, she pretty much stays away from it all.
Well, I can tell you that when it came out, oddly enough, depends where you live, right? When it came out that this miscreant had acute levels of PCP in his system, here in New York, you're in Oklahoma, it comes out here in New York. It wasn't just, I know you guys locally, it was a blurb. They forgot about it and then started attacking your mother immediately because they don't want you to think long about the fact that this guy was ridiculous. He was stoned enough to drop a horse. No, we don't want you to think about that. We're going to change it. We're all the way out here in New York, and it was more than just a blurb. And people heard it. And I can tell you when it happened, speaking to non-cop friends of mine who were like, well, the video was grainy, it was far, and I couldn't tell. That article came out. It changed a lot of friggin' minds. And it was handled properly out here because it wasn't local. They actually went in on the story. Oh, this is what they found. This is what they found. That would explain why he acted that way. Just like you will see in court when the day comes. But your media will not address. Your mom has a lot of support. A lot of support, a lot of love going out to your mom. She needs to know that. She needs to maintain that thought. You need to remind her. She does. God bless her. And God bless you as well. There is a lot of support. And anything we can do as a group for you guys, let us know we're here. I know you have Amanda's number. Hit her up on the phone. She can give you my number if you need to hit me up for whatever reason. Or if your mom wants to speak to me directly and do that whole cop-to-cop thing or whatever, whatever. We're here for her.
Yeah,
100%.
I'll definitely let her know.
100%. And we're here for her when it's over, too. There's a lot of reason to believe, and I know there's a couple of other people, Amanda, that believe there's a lot of shadiness with the DA in doing this. If something can be pulled out of it and it can be pursued, believe me, we'll help any way we can. We're going to be going after the Lackawanna County coward. I have no problem going after Tulsa's DA as well, if that's the case, if that's what's going on here. Marilyn Mosby went down for being for malicious prosecution, and I'd like to see how it falls out with all the evidence come trial in this case, and whether or not we have a similar situation. But I know it's a little early to say, but I'm going to say yes. I think that's exactly what's going on. I do look forward to hopefully next time I'm in Tulsa, being able to meet up with your mom and you. Oh, story of my life. I was saying, I'm hoping next time I'm in Tulsa, I'll be able to meet up with you and your mom. I think that would be nice. I'd like to be able to meet up with the two of you and shake your hands. And again, anything you ever need. What? What? What are you chiming in for? All eyes on me?
On Amber.
Oh, on Amber. Ooh, all eyes on you, Amber.
I was just saying, you can get with me, Mom can get with me. We'll even have Amanda come with us. We all go for lunch.
That sounds great. Maybe leave Amanda at home, though, because she's probably just going to bust my balls, apparently, based on how this just went down. But that's besides the point. No, that'd be great. Like I said, I'd love to meet with you guys, and we are going to be in touch. And, when trial comes up, if I can break away from what I'm doing, I do want to be there. But we are going to have people there for the trial, for sure, whether I can make it there or not. And if there's ever anything you guys need.
Just clear your calendar. May 8th. You should be there.
May. I don't think I have anything going on in May. May's a long time away. Yeah, I think I can clear that. That might be an easy one. I say we do that. I'd like to get out there and get some people together and see who else we can rally down there and get down there and be there for your mom. That would be excellent. Now I've hogged up. Listen, Amanda, this is your contact, your friend. I asked a couple of questions. It's all cool and everything, and I appreciate it. She's a sweetheart. What do you have? What do you have to ask? From the civilian's point of view, what do you have to ask?
I kind of want Amber to just, let me tell the public really quick. I've spent a lot of time with you, and I have watched you cry tears, not just at the press conference. Like, I know I've seen what this does to you. I've seen what this does to your family. And I just want you and your mom to know that you have our full support and a whole lot of support. You don't have to cry no tears, but I want you to just kind of tell me what you told me the first time we met at Target. When I asked you what kind of person that she is. Tell me what kind of person she is. We're not at a press conference. Just tell me about your mom. Tell the public about your mom.
Oh my, she's my role model. She really is. She is the most caring and loving person I've ever met, and I strive a lot to be just like her. She goes out of her way to just help anyone and everyone. Like right now, she takes time out of her day because she has a business, and it takes a lot of time for the things that she's doing. She makes quilts for officers and stuff, but she takes time out of her day to go help this lady. She's got 3 kids. She's homeschooling them. She'll go there, help them homeschool her children, and she'll drive out of her way for anyone who calls her saying, "Hey, I just need you to come over here. I need to talk." She does it. She doesn't care what time of day it is. And she is a very caring and loving woman, and especially with my son, that is her world, and it's beautiful. Like, when you see her, it's amazing. Like, Amanda, you should tell that story about the lady because I wasn't there when it happened.
I would love to.
But
I would love to. You want me to tell it now? I would love to tell the story. Okay. So whenever I met Officer Betty Shelby at the courthouse, the day of the press conference, this lady came with me, and she was watching earlier. I don't know if she still is, but Tina is her name. We went up to the courtroom. Amber was in the restroom, and Betty Shelby was standing before me, and this lady wanted to come with me, and I said, of course you can. So we got into the courtroom, and I talked to your mom for a second, and then this woman walks up to Betty, to Officer Shelby, and tapped her on the shoulder and said, "I don't know you, but I just want you to know that you have my support." And Police Officer Betty Shelby, who I was thinking tough as nails and just expected her to kind of say thank you, she reached her arms out and grabbed this woman and gave her the biggest hug and started crying and said thank you so much. And she cried with this woman. This woman cried and Betty cried together. That support from a complete stranger she did not know meant so much to her that she cried in the courtroom with this stranger. And to me, that told me everything I needed to know about this woman. That it told me that she was exactly who Amber, you had told me she was. It was a beautiful moment. I wish so bad that the public could see that person who just cries at someone who says, I support you. It was a beautiful moment.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, unfortunately, we have taken, as a community, law enforcement, such a freaking beating over the last 8 years. The wrong element has been so empowered. It's mind blowing, to say the least. But with that being said, your mom will prevail. Her true character will show. You're dealing. I think part of the problem is, and a lot of the arguments I've heard in regards to your mom's case and several other cases as of late, is media, social media, news media, entertainment media. And I've seen it myself, a little side note, but to understand, going to grand jury on a case, and it was a burglary case, and we had the DNA for the case, and the DA did their job, and a juror was confused at the grand jury as to why it took so long in the testimony and the breakdown to get the DNA results. And the DA had asked, what do you mean? And she's like, well, I don't understand. They gathered DNA, and here it is 6 months later, you're locking the guy up the day after you get the DNA results. You got the DNA results. The next day you locked him up. Here we are a week later, a week and a half later at grand jury. Why did it take so long? 6 months, almost 6 months. And the DA's looking at her like, because the results came in. We locked him up the second the results came in. Like, what is your problem? Came in, said who he was, where he lived. They went to the house. He was there. They put him in handcuffs and took him away. And the individual responds with, I've seen it on TV. The DNA comes back in minutes. And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people who are watching CSI or watching Discovery Channel. Not that they're bad, and the shit's right. That's how it happens. But it's got to fit in a 30-minute window. So DNA comes back in a nanosecond, as opposed to it needs to wait behind 1,500 rape kits and 3,200 blood samples and 8,200 articles of clothing that need to be scanned. Oh, and there's your DNA after all that. And they don't seem to get, that's how it happens. And that's the whole principle. Like, I heard people saying, and again, I don't know Tulsa tactics. I can't get into that. But I know our tactics, and I know several other agencies and departments speaking to people. And people would be like, well, she shot, but she shouldn't have because the other guy used a taser. And every other department, and we saw it with cases just at the same time that it happened. There's always one officer with a firearm and a taser out. You don't both go with a taser or a firearm because then you don't have options. And that is standard protocol. But they seem to go off of this notion that, again, because what they see on the news. And people don't understand that these tasers that the community such as like, oh, this is great, it's going to stop people from getting shot. More times than not, they don't fucking work. And they don't get it. It's like mace. Oh, but you maced him. Well, why did you have to shoot him? Well, because it didn't affect him and he didn't stop. So I shot him. They don't get it. Between the cop hating administration and the dumbing down of society, we've been left with this. Is it okay to say segment of society? I don't think it's all of society. Segment of society that doesn't seem to grasp how things work. They don't want to be accountable for their own actions.
Yeah, and see what I think is, if you don't come from a cop's family, you're not a cop, or you don't know the type of life that they have to go through every day, how the process works, you're not going to know anything. And they're just going to pretty much be cop haters, or, oh no, this should have been done this way, this should have been like that should have been like that. But the thing is, they don't understand. They've never been through it. They've never been told anything about it. And like you said, they watch these shows, and it's showing, things are done this way, or it comes back this quick, and it says it, and they don't understand. So
no, they don't.
You have to know a cop or something to understand.
And you bring up a great point. And again, going back to like TV and whatnot. Not that long ago in Florida, and I can't remember what town, but it was Florida. There was a family screaming on the news about their young boy who was shot and killed by a homeowner who came home during a burglary. And in the interview, they were upset, saying, "Why did she have to shoot our boy? Why did she have to shoot my brother? Why did she have to shoot whatever his name was, Daquan or whatever the fuck it was?" And the reality is, in the same people arguing, why'd the woman, the homeowner, this isn't a cop issue, why'd the homeowner have to kill him, right? Licensed gun owner. When asked, but he broke into the property, didn't he? He was committing a burglary. The response to the reporter was, he was just trying to make a living. So you can't win. You cannot win against those people, and unfortunately, that's what I hate to say it, but that's what your mom's case. If your mom's case was against little Bobby Johnson, who went to school and was a clean cut preppy kid, and did something stupid and this happened, as well as I do, mom wouldn't be where she is. And there wouldn't have been threats of violence. There wouldn't have been threats of riot. There wouldn't have been threats of anything. But your mom embraced an unfortunate incident that night, doing what she did, and did the best she could under the circumstances, and it fell out the way it did. Unfortunately, the other player on the other end of that stage was far from being an outstanding member of society, was far from being a stellar individual or a pillar of the community. And because of that, she's put in the position she's put in. And now every dredge of society, multiple levels of dredgery here, from the Al Sharptons to the Jesse Jacksons to the, whoever. What's that fat guy, Amanda, who said he wanted all white people to die? We had the video.
It's a group with Mark Lewis. It's Tulsa's BLM, basically. His name is Mark Lewis.
Mark Lewis with his all white people should die.
Well,
they're gonna,
I don't know if he's
using this as a platform. What?
I don't know if he's the one who said it. It was at his rally, though, that it happened.
Okay.
I don't know.
Again, it doesn't matter if he said it or not. It happened at his rally, and the media was there, and it was filmed, and everyone was cheering him on. So you got to own up to that, right? I mean, it is what it is. You got to own up to it. Look at it in cop terms. If you're riding in a patrol car with somebody and that person's corrupt and taking bribes, guess what? You're both going to go down for it. You got to own it. You're there when it's happening. That's happening at your rallies. You got to own it. When you go to a madrasa and you're a Muslim kid and they're talking about planting bombs in America, guess what? You're going to pay for it because guess what? You're there. At some point, you should have said, fuck this, and beat feet and left. You didn't. That's what happened there. He didn't beat feet. He's part of it. But either way, whether him, his mother, his uncle, his aunt, his grandmother, I don't give a shit, happened there. They're going to latch on to this to make something of it. We all know what's going to happen. Nothing. Your mom's going to win. Your mom's going to beat this. Court's going to do the right thing. Jury's going to do the right thing. It is actually almost virtually impossible to get 12 morons to sit in the same room. Just so you know. No matter how bad you try, you're always going to get somebody with a brain. It's the law of averages. That's why we get hung juries. You can get 10 idiots, maybe even 11, but 12, it's kind of hard. Just tell your mom to keep it. All right, what do you want to share?
A comment, because Amber, you weren't even there for this, and I don't know if I told you what happened whenever I spoke at the press conference. And this was Tammy's observation, and I want to share it. And she said, one of the best moments I saw at the press conference we held was watching the press listen to our message. There was a woman, and it was a reporter, who ripped us right before the conference in a video she made. Then, as Amanda spoke, everyone started nodding. That lady went back and made a different video after that, and I never saw the other one put out. So we did, what I think was important was the message that we delivered to Tulsa. The media was very receptive, very receptive. Now, did they change their narrative after that? Not in my opinion, but they were, I mean, literally the last thing I expected was standing there delivering that press conference and looking over those cameras and those microphones and people sitting back there just nodding at us. Like, they knew that we were right. They know that we are right. And the media holds a responsibility to the public, which is what we were saying. You hold a responsibility to the public to deliver the proper message so that you don't have these kinds of divisions that we do.
Absolutely.
Did we get anywhere? You know.
Well, you know,
yeah.
Amanda, I think we do get somewhere. The reality is the fact that we've been involved in the cases we've been involved in at one degree or the other, and the fact that people are coming to us with what they're coming to us for future endeavors, only goes to show that we've made a huge impact. The reality is, you know, we've said it all along. I mean, it's in our name. Law enforcement supporters for media accountability. You know, oddly enough, no one thinks of it, but we were onto something before anyone else is. And here it is now with Trump, with the left and right proving, you know, every second, to the left and to the right of him, he's proving false media, false narrative. We've been doing that since day one. Way before he was on it, way before he was getting hit with it, we were dealing with it because our officers are getting hit with it. And that's exactly what it is. And it's the same with the media with Trump. They're going to paint him a certain way to try to generate enough hatred towards him so they can ultimately get what it is they want. His whole I'm taking my news to the people direct and fuck you and bypass you is essentially the same problem we were having with searching other avenues for media, which is why we came up with this problem, which ultimately is why we're having problems getting this off the ground with technicality issues, which will all be worked out. But that's why we have our own channel, because now we can get out the way that we need to get out, what we need to get out, how we need to get out. The problems are real. They're out there. So did we make a difference? I think so. The fact that she ripped you guys apart, it was witnessed, it was seen, it was heard, and it never went on the air, I think is huge. You know, we had it when we had the Fort Lauderdale Dispatch or something like that wanted to do a negative article on cops they were searching for, and the guys, oh, fuck you, I'm going to write what I want. We got the emails that went back and forth. And I told them, watch it and see what we do to you. Notice his article never got out. Never wrote the article. Never wrote it. They're out there. We're holding people accountable, and that's what, you know, that's what we're doing. And we have our little way of doing it, and we're kicking ass. You know, the fact that we've gone out left and right after the BLM to the LA Times and the Washington Post, deliberately not bothered to write our articles. We know they've got it. We got the proof they've received it. They just don't want to address it because they know we're right. I think we're making headway here. You're smirking. I don't like that. Somebody's typing something.
No. I'm looking. I'm doing three things at once. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought it was maybe a funny response or something. Yeah, because I'm rambling and people like to complain. He's rambling.
No, they're not. They're not. I do want Amber. I got something else for Amber really quick. Do you want to talk about the message that you sent me this week? Do you want to bring that up?
What message did I send?
Just a random little one that said, "Hey, what can I do because, do you remember?
Yes. So I definitely want to join you guys because I want to help other families who are in the same situation as I am. Because I feel like it could bring some comfort to them to know, look, they're not the only ones, having to suffer alone. And so I definitely I just want to help people so much. And, it takes a certain person to be able to help those families. You have to have gone through what I've gone through to be able to help them, And so, I can truly say I know what you're going through.
Well, I would love to have you on board, Amanda. So make it happen. Get her connected to me through Facebook. Get her into the admins chat and start getting her involved. And let's figure something out with her. And make something, make that start happening. I could definitely see a benefit and an asset to that. Having her come with us even to PA and with Frank's thing, if we can, I think would be fantastic. And let's use her and her unique perspective on these type of situations. I think that would be wonderful.
Hold on. Before everybody loses their thought, the reason I wanted you to say that, though, was because, to me, that is your mother in you. That's exactly what I was trying to say. So I had to throw that out there. That's
So
it.
wait,
I'm
do you
done.
not want me to agree then?
Huh?
Well, I've talked to my mom, and, she's completely 100% behind me on that. She would love for me, be able to help other people out. And because she doesn't have much of a voice at the moment. And so I am her voice, but I'm a lot like my mom for sure. And we definitely want to help all the families out that we can.
Well, again,
Go ahead.
your mom will get through this, and we have a place for her when the time comes as well. Anyway, what is that? Oh, hi, Amber. Okay. I couldn't see. It's late.
Glad to say hello.
Hello.
Why doesn't he just turn on the other laptop and jump on the other camera and join?
He doesn't want anybody to see him.
Oh. Okay. I get he's embarrassed because he's a firefighter. Yeah, I know. I love you. No, listen, Amber, welcome to the family. We'd love to have you. We're a little dysfunctional, but that's what makes us so functional. We don't do things the normal way. We don't do things the nice way. We are not PC. We are completely unfiltered. We do love firefighters, including Jimmy. So love to have you aboard. Like I said, it's a big dysfunctional family, but it's a big happy family. And we're here to do anything we can for you and your mom. Our other officer will be joining us and doing stuff with us as things move along for him. And we look forward to it. It's a wonderful thing we're doing. But it's not always easy, but it's always, especially dealing with me. But other than that, it's you didn't have to agree, Amanda. Thank you. So the head nod. Thanks. You could have just said, no, it's fine, but no, thanks. I appreciate it.
Cupcakes and rainbows,
No,
David.
No, I'm not. I am the corporate executive asshole, but I mean, it is what it is. But, a lot of people when we started were against us and didn't think it would work, and here we are today. Like I say, I like to remind people, we're at 18,000 in the group, the affiliate memberships at over 350,000, and now we have big companies like, Enterprise and Grunt Style working with us, and huge companies, up and coming companies like Blue Angel Coffee and whatnot that are sponsoring us. We have mayors from small towns that are holding functions, reaching out to us, and and we have people running for high political offices that are reaching out to us to help them. So we're obviously making an impact and making waves. We're on the verge of some big things. I hope this year. And Amber, I'd be more than thrilled to have you to be part of that, and let's get working on that bright and early tomorrow. But I think with that being said, I'm squinting because my clock is small. We're after 9:30. We're about done here. So I just want to let you, Amber, again, thank you for reaching out to us. I love you, dear. I really do. Send Mom the best from me. You're in my thoughts and prayers. Your whole family is. Your mom is. Always will be, as well as that of everyone in my family and everyone here in the Lesma family. And thank you for taking time out of your night to be here with us. You're more than welcome. And thank you for joining our team and being part of our team. Amanda, thank you for making that. I did not know that was coming out, so that's great. A nice little added touch to the end of the show. I appreciate it. So everybody, this is Amanda. She will soon be a new admin to the group, but she'll be more than just an admin to the group. She's going to be a big part of what we're doing. Amanda's laughing. I don't know why. I said Amber. I said Amber.
You said Amanda.
Amanda, Amber, whatever. You all lied. You're a firefighter. I don't trust you. Amanda, Amber, whatever. I am. Well, listen, Amanda, Amber, one of you have to change your name. No, listen. Yeah, it's going to get really confusing. It's one of those things. Listen, either way, thank you. Amanda, it was great that you brought about this announcement from Amber. Amber, welcome aboard. Amanda, let's get working on that quickly. Jim, thanks for pointing out that I'm a bitch, buddy.
You're welcome. I love you, David.
Love you too. And listen, that's it. It's a great time. I loved having you guys on. Next week, I just want to let you know, next week, we are having a very special guest, just so everyone knows. We're going to have a commercial coming up. It is a member from my old department. I'm not going to get too much into it now, but a recent award recipient. He's a veteran, and his story is kick-ass. But you have to stay tuned to Lesma Nation because the commercial's coming out tomorrow. Okay, and then we'll be ramping it out. But it's going to be a heart-pounding adrenaline rush the next episode next week. So stay tuned for it. I love you all. Thank you very much. I'm signing out. Amanda, take care.
Good night. Amber, I'm going to let you go too. It's been a long evening. So thank you so much for coming on, and I'll talk to you soon, very, very soon. Do you have anything you want to say? Do you have anything you want to say? Thank you really so much for coming on, and it's going to be an honor to have you on our team. So thank you, and I love you to pieces, but I think you know that now. And we have lunch coming up soon, so we do. We never set the date, but we do. Okay. To all of our Lesma family, we love you guys, and see you next Wednesday. Thank you guys for joining. Talk to you guys soon.